Buenos días, buenos tardes, buenas noches, mga amigos, mga amigas, mga kumpanyeros, mga kumpanyeras. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ito pong muli ang inyong lingkod, Attorney Rene Bueno. Ipagpapatuloy po natin yung pinag-usapan po natin noong nakaraang episode tungkol sa jurisdiction in the impeachment complaint transmitted to the Senate of the Philippines against Vice President Sara Duterte. Sapagkat yung huli pong episode na yun ay medyo marami ang nakapanood, inabot ng halos sa 66,000 views as of this afternoon. At dahil doon ay marami pong nag-usisa, nagtanong at nag-request na kung pwede daw ba ay pagpatuloy natin yung ating pinag-uusapan tungkol sa jurisdiction. So kaya nandito tayo ngayon at ipapaliwanag po natin kung ano ba ang jurisdiction, ano ba ang ibig sabihin nito, gaano kaimportante ang jurisdiction sa kaso ni Vice President Sara Duterte at ano-ano ang magiging legal effect nito just in case, no, at the end of the day, natuklasan ng isa sa mga parties o isa sa mga defense lawyer na ang impeachment court pala ay walang jurisdiction to hear and decide the case of impeachment against Vice President Sara Duterte. Okay, ito pong jurisdiction is a fundamental concept in law that determines whether the court has the legal authority to hear and decide a case. Okay, so napaka-importante niyan na malaman ng bawat abogado na katulad ko na kapag ikaw ay pinasahan or nag-handle ng isang kaso, lalong-lalo na for the defendant or for the respondent, ang unang-unang tinitingnan natin din dito ay kung meron bang jurisdiction ng court. Kapag nakita natin walang jurisdiction ng korte, ay agad-agad tayo po ay magpapile, no, ng isang motion, no, sa husgado, lalo na kung sa RTC ay isang motion to dismiss kagad ang ating isasampa, no, upang mapa-dismiss ang kaso. Dito po sa ating bansa, no, yung jurisdiction po ay it rests on three key pillars. Ang unang-una po dito yung subject matter jurisdiction. Pangalawa yung jurisdiction over the person at yung pangatlo ay yung territorial jurisdiction. Pag sinabi po nating subject matter jurisdiction, it refers to the authority of the court to hear and decide a particular or specific type of case. For example, ang ating pong Supreme Court ay may authority to hear and decide cases involving constitutional issues. At pagdating naman sa regional trial court, ay ito ay binibigyan ng ating batas to hear and decide cases. Pagdating sa criminal cases, kung ito ay may corresponding penalty or punishment of 6 years and 1 day and above, yan po ay pumapatak, no? At ang regional trial court po ang may jurisdiction dyan. Pero kung less than 6 years and 1 day ang corresponding penalty or punishment doon sa akusado, ay yan po ay ang may jurisdiction yan ay Metropolitan Trial Court. At kung kayo naman ay magsasampa ng annulment of marriage, legal separation, custody of the child, support, yan po ang may jurisdiction po dyan ay yung tinatawag nating family court. Alam nyo, ang bawat hukuman ay parang may hawak palagi ang toolbox, no? Yung toolbox na yun, may laman ng mga tools at yung tools na yun ay dapat mag-correspond doon sa mga kasong isinasampa sa kanya. Dapat mag-match, no? Dahil ang bawat hukuman ay may kanya-kanyang expertise, no? Pag criminal cases, no, ang corresponding penalty, sabi ko na nga kanina, kapag ang corresponding penalty na isang criminal na kaso ay 6 years and 1 day and above, ayan po ay regional trial court jurisdiction. Kapag less, yan po ay Metropolitan Trial Court. Kapag constitutional issues, mataas na hukuman or Supreme Court. Kapag tungkol sa annulment, sa legal separation, custody of the child, support, yan po ay sa family court. Pag tungkol naman sa mana-mana, no? At sa last will and testament, yan po ay probate court naman ang dapat puntahan ng petitioner. At ibig sabihin nito, hindi basta-bastang pupunta sa husgado ang isang nagpipetisyon o isang nagrereklamo at magsasampa na lamang basta ng reklamo, no, o petisyon sa isang husgado. Paano kung ang napuntahan mo hukuman ay wala naman palang jurisdiction, abay, immediately ang husgado kapag nalaman niyang wala siyang jurisdiction ay pwede din niyang i-dismiss yan, or on the initiative of the defendant or the respondent, pwede niyang ipa-dismiss ang isang kaso. So why jurisdiction matters in the Philippines? Dapat ma-ensure kasi natin yung fairness. Jurisdiction ensures that every person will receive an impartial and fair treatment, no, in every case. Hindi pwedeng mapuwersa mo ang isang tao na umaten sa isang paglilitis na kung saan ang hukuman ay wala naman palang jurisdiction or it has no authority to hear and decide a case. Pangalawa, dapat mabigyan mo ng protection yung individual na inirereklamo, at hindi naman pwedeng magpatuloy ang isang pagdinig na kung saan ay wala naman palang legal na otoridad ang isang hukuman. So that is why it is very important that we need to determine at the very first stage of every case na yung bang hukuman ay meron jurisdiction to hear and decide the case. So punta tayo ngayon doon sa impeachment, no? At ngayon nga ipinag-uusapan kung may jurisdiction ang impeachment court sa kasalukuyan, no? Dahil hanggang ngayon ay hindi kumikilos itong Senado. At kanina nga pinag-usapan natin na tatlong klase ang jurisdictions: jurisdiction over the subject matter, over the person, and territorial jurisdiction. Ngayon, itanong natin to ngayon doon sa kaso ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Meron na bang jurisdiction over the person of Vice President Sara Duterte? Wala pa po. Wala pang jurisdiction over the person of Sara Duterte. Bakit? Nag-convene na ba ang impeachment court? Hindi pa po. Hindi nga nila kinonvert yung kanilang persona from Senate or legislative body into an impeachment court. So therefore, non-existing pa yung impeachment court nila, no? Kasi hindi naman automatic na nagta-transform or naku-convert agad yung katauhan ng Senado bilang isang impeachment court. There are preliminary steps that must be undertaken by the Senate in order for it to become an impeachment court. If the Senate will not convert itself as an impeachment court, the impeachment court is considered as non-existing. If it is non-existing, no, if the impeachment court is not existing, therefore, wala ka pang jurisdiction over the subject matter, over the person of the accused. And that is the Vice President Sara Duterte. So parang yung diniscuss ko din kanina sa civil cases, no, sa regional trial court. Ang regional trial court, kapag nag-file ka dyan ng, particularly in a civil case, pag nag-file ka dyan ng complaint, no, like for instance, specific performance, there are preliminary steps on the part of the regional trial court that it must undertake in order to acquire jurisdiction over the defendant. Yung plaintiff, walang problema because once the plaintiff files the complaint, the court acquires jurisdiction over the person of the plaintiff. What about the defendant or the respondent? Does the court acquire jurisdiction over the person of the defendant or the respondent? No, because there are several steps that must be undertaken by the regional trial court before it can acquire jurisdiction. And what is that? You need to issue summons. O minsan tawagin natin sa puwena. You need to issue the summons. And you need to serve that summons by personal service. Kung hindi available by personal service, then you need to avail of the substituted service. 'Di ba? 'Yun po ang patakaran sa ating rules of court. No, if the court will not be able to serve the summons by personal service or by substituted service, then the court cannot proceed with the trial. Why? Because it has no jurisdiction. Now, by way of analogy, compare natin dito sa impeachment complaint transmitted by the House of Representatives. Does the impeachment court acquire jurisdiction? No. Why? Because it does not convert itself as an impeachment court. Hindi niya kinonvert yung sarili niya. Remember, sinabi ko na din to ng mga nakaraang vlog natin, may dalawang persona ang ating Senado. Isang legislative at isang hukuman. Yung bang pagiging hukom niya ay automatic once an impeachment complaint has been filed? No, you need to undertake preliminary steps. You need to convene. First, you need to convert yourself into one impeachment court. Once you have already converted yourself as an impeachment court, there are again several steps that you must undertake. You need to issue the summons to the Vice President for you to acquire jurisdiction over the person of Vice President Sara Duterte. Otherwise, you will not acquire jurisdiction. And what is the purpose of sending the summons to the accused? In all cases, ano ba ang purpose niyan? Yung summons, yung subpoena, anong purpose niya? That is pursuant to the principle of due process of law. Bigyan mo naman ng pagkakataon yung tao na sumagot at magpaliwanag, tungkol doon sa reklamong isinampalaban sa kanya. Kailangan niyang mabasa ang reklamo kasi pag nag-serve ka ng summons, attached doon sa summons na yan, yung complaint. At yung kapal-kapal ng complaint na yan, bigyan mo ng pagkakataon yung tao na basahin, pag-aralan, ikonsulta sa kanyang mga abogado ang reklamong isinampalaban sa kanya. Ngayon, kapag hindi mo na-serve yung summons, so may problema ka sa jurisdiction over the person. What about the subject matter? Walang problema doon sa subject matter o jurisdiction sapagkat the moment they converted themselves into an impeachment court, doon may establish mo na yung subject matter jurisdiction kasi existing ka na eh. Diba? Isa ka ng impeachment court from being a legislative body. Okay? So, yung subject matter jurisdiction naman, it is conferred by law, by the Constitution. So, ibinigay sa iyo yan. Once na-establish mo, once na-convert mo yung sarili mo as an impeachment court, then you have subject matter jurisdiction over the impeachment complaint. But the next jurisdiction that you must acquire is jurisdiction over the person of Vice President Sara Duterte. Kaya nga sabi ko kanina sa inyo, tatlong klase ang jurisdiction dito sa Pilipinas. Yung 3 key pillars. Jurisdiction over the person, territorial jurisdiction, and the subject matter jurisdiction, which is the legal authority of the impeachment court to hear and decide a specific or particular case. And in this case nga, yung impeachment complaint na kung saan binigay sa kanila na saligang batas kapag ang pinag-uusapan ay tungkol sa mga violation ng betrayal of public trust, culpable violation of the Constitution, graft and corruption, treason, yung plunder, yan ay mga offenses na kung saan sinasabi ng ating saligang batas na kapag yung mga posisyon ng Presidente, Vice President at Ombudsman ay nakomit nila yung mga offenses na yan, ang mayroong jurisdiction to hear and decide that case is the impeachment court. In sum, the Constitution mandates that the Senate shall have the sole power to hear and decide all impeachment cases. It implies a duty to conduct the impeachment trial in a very timely manner. Unreasonable delay of this impeachment trial could be seen as a failure on the part of the Senate to exercise this power. Therefore, it affects the matter of jurisdiction. So, dapat maisip ng Senado to na yung excessive delay, unreasonable delay could definitely affect the matter of jurisdiction. Isa pa, the accused in this case, the Vice President Sara Duterte, has the right to a speedy trial, no? And this speedy trial is an important component of due process of law. So kung hindi kayo magko-conduct agad-agad ng impeachment trial, dumaan yung eroplano. Ang baba. Wow, jet. Okay. Padaanin muna natin yung eroplano. Ang ingay. So, ulitin ko. The Vice President has the constitutional right to a speedy trial. And this speedy trial is an important component of due process of law. If there will be no impeachment trial within a reasonable period of time, that would prejudice the right of Vice President Sara Duterte. So hanggang dito na lamang po. Sana po ay may natutunan na naman kayong muli dito sa aking episode about jurisdiction and the impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte. At bago tayo maghiwa-hiwalay, let me remind you, my viewers and subscribers, na paki-like, paki-share. At doon sa mga hindi pa nagsusubscribe, pwede bang makisubscribe na kayo ngayon dito sa aking YouTube channel na Attorney Bueno Law and Beyond. Marami pong salamat sa inyong lahat.